Hey Happy Campers, Eric here, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about Route 66, and I'm going to talk about the 66 Ontario Provincial Parks that I just visited in the last 66 days. I'm going to tell you which ones I was a little disappointed in, and like the 5 that I thought were hidden gems that were just absolutely incredible parks. So I hope you enjoy the video, and stick around to the end where I tell you how to become an official member of the Happy Camper Crew. Yeah. I just visited 66 Ontario Provincial Parks, and I did it in 66 days, and I did it in my minivan. There are 99 operational Ontario Provincial Parks that have car camping in. 99! And most people from the Toronto area have maybe been to 1 or 2 of them their entire life. Well, me, I just visited 66 of them, and I want to tell you about it. In my youth, I did a lot of traveling, and I traveled Route 66. Route 66 is a road that goes from Chicago, Illinois, all the way down to Santa Monica Pier, just outside of Los Angeles, California. It is an absolutely great trip. Well, 2026 marks the 100th anniversary of Route 66. And I was looking on the news, and I saw that there was a bunch of festivities planned, a bunch of events all the way along the route, that they were going to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the street. And I wanted to participate, but I didn't want to go to the USA. So I decided, what can I do to celebrate Route 66 in my own way? So, feeling a little nostalgic, I wanted to relive my trips on Route 66. But I didn't want to do it in the USA. I wanted to do it someplace closer to home. I wanted to do it right here in Canada. And not just Canada, I wanted to do it right here in Ontario. So I went to my computer, I opened up Google, and I did a search for Ontario. And I started looking around, and because I'm a season annual pass holder of Ontario Provincial Parks, is I thought, okay, well, let's look at some parks. Maybe there's a park that I haven't been to that I could check out. So I went to the Ontario Parks website. I pulled up the park locator, which shows, it pins every single park on the map and where it's located. So I looked at it and I thought, wow, there's so many provincial parks here. Well, 99 operating parks that have campsites, that have car camping. And I thought to myself, well, I want to go someplace where I haven't been before. So I started mapping out parks that I could visit, and that's when it hit me. What if I do an Ontario version of Route 66? And because it's in Canada and the French word for street is rue, I decided I was going to do Route 66. I decided right then that I was going to visit 66 Ontario Provincial Parks. And so Route 66 was going to be the ultimate Ontario road trip. This was going to be my new adventure, and I hope that you join me while I share it with you. So I went on to the Ontario Parks website, to the map locator. I printed out the map of Ontario with all the parks, and I decided I was going to visit 66 parks, and I was going to do it in 66 days, and I was going to do it in this here minivan. I printed it out, and I started marking from one park to the next my route. What I decided to do was to do the route in an entire circle. That way anybody who was along the route could also do the route with me. You could start in Sudbury, you could start in Toronto, you could start in London, wherever you were in Ontario around the Route 66. You could go and do parts of it or the whole entire thing. But everybody in the province would only be no more than a half an hour from Route 66. Route 66. So that's what I did. I mapped it all out, and I picked the sites that I wanted. So I decided to not only do this trip, but I wanted to share this trip with other people. So I started the website, route66.ca, and I thought, I'm going to put the website together, and I'm going to document my travels and share it with other people, so they can see how easy it was for me to do, and hopefully they would do it as well. I wanted people to watch my videos and follow my travels. But not only that, I wanted to get them interested in going to parks themselves. I want you to watch these videos, and I want you to decide where on Route 66 you would like to visit. I want you to get out there and do the same thing. Go on the ultimate Ontario road trip. So this is my 2006 Dodge Grand Caravan. It's not a Sprinter, it's not a Ford Transit or a ProMaster, it's not a big expensive RV or a travel trailer, it's just an old minivan. And let me tell you, it was the perfect vehicle for this trip. So this is it, minivan, not some $150,000 vehicle. What I did was I took about $40 worth of wood from Home Depot, made a little platform bed inside, grabbed myself a sleeping bag, cooler, my barbecue, and I hopped in, and I decided that, you know what, I was going to go simple. It was just me, my van, and a couple things, and I was going to go find some parks. So that's what I did. And so I had a bed inside because when I started my trip, it was still April. It was still quite cold here in Ontario. Quite cold, actually, below zero most nights when I went to sleep. But I also brought a tent because I knew I was going to be on the road for over 2 months, that it was going to get warm. So I brought a tent, so those nights where I was in beautiful Ontario provincial parks, I could sleep under the stars. And so that's what I did. Brought a tent, slept in the tent half the time, slept in the van half the time. And you got to remember one thing. I did not live in the van, I lived out of the van. Most of the time, I was outside in the park, going on trails, checking out the views. I wasn't sitting inside the van all day long. So yeah, there wasn't need for any special expensive equipment. I just needed a nice, warm, dry, safe place to sleep once in a while. And that's what this vehicle did for me. And it got me where I wanted to go. Just to let you know, the total circumference of my trip of Route 66 was 4,763 kilometers. Yeah, it was a great journey. I hope that you decide one day that you're going to take a little bit of that journey, or maybe the whole journey. So when people hear that I went to 66 Ontario Provincial Parks, they think like I went way up north out in the middle of nowhere and took months to do this trip. The reality is it only took me 66 days, because what most people don't realize is that the majority of the operational Ontario Provincial Parks, the majority are less than 4 hours from Toronto. You can have an absolutely fabulous experience, experiencing like beautiful views and vistas and the Canadian Shield, and you never really have to travel more than 4 hours from Toronto. So I brought this camera, and I decided to start filming the locations that I was at, filming the parks, the campsites that I stayed at, the restrooms that were there, some of the trails that were there, and really just kind of make a journal of what my trip was like so I could share it with everybody else. And that's what my channel is, route66.ca, is just a journal of my journey, and I want to share it with you too. So I want to be honest with you, not every single park out there is a masterpiece, really, no. And some of them were really disappointing. Some of them were even like no more than a parking lot on the side of the highway with a fire pit in it. But you know what? Even those I got something from. And so I got something from, a little bit of something from all of them, and that's why I want to share it with you. So yeah, some of them were duds, but some of them were just absolutely gorgeous. They just blew my mind. I was amazed by some of these parks. That's why I want to share with you the good stuff. So in these videos, I want to walk you through all of the different parks. I want to do the reviews of all the parks I went to, let you know why you should go to these parks, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I just really want to share the whole experience with you because I want you to take the journey as well. And now after I've traveled all six of these parks, I think that every single person in Ontario should get out there and experience as many of these parks as they possibly can. Definitely before they die. So let's talk about the parks. First of all, let's start with some of the more famous ones. Like of course, Algonquin Provincial Park. It is the very first park in all of Canada. And It is absolutely gorgeous. I recommend that. I think all Ontarians should go to Algonquin at least once in their life. For sure, you have to go to Algonquin. The drive there is absolutely incredible. The drive through it, Highway 60 through it, is incredible. And as I was on my way to my very first campground, before I even had a campsite in Algonquin, I already saw a moose on Highway 60. But I have to say that Algonquin is basically a victim of its own fame. It's a great park. The thing is, it's packed, man. If you go in the height of the camping season, like July and August, when it's super busy, the parks are packed. You're at a campsite where you're, sometimes 10 feet away from your next door neighbor. It loses that whole feeling when you go during the busy season. I think that, well, I recommend that if you are going to go to the park, that maybe you should consider definitely going during the week, but also maybe going in September. If you go in September, the leaves are starting to change colors then, but the days, the temperature is still good, and everybody's gone back to school, gone back to work, so the parks aren't so busy. I think that it's a little overrun in the summertime, so plan your trip early in the season or late in the season so you really can enjoy everything that Algonquin has to offer without all the crazy crowds. And so next, I also want to mention Sandbanks. Before I started my journey, I did research online and I heard so much about Sandbanks. It was so popular and everybody talked about it online. And when I got there, I was like, wait a minute, what was everybody talking about? Like, I know the beach is like the longest freshwater beach in the world. The beach is awesome. But if you go there in the summertime, it is packed. It is basically bumper to bumper traffic. It's like you might as well be on the 401 still. And I think that the only reason that this campground got popular is the beach itself is great, but it's busy. But I don't think the campground is all that great. It's more for the day use for the beach, not for the campground. I think it's got its popularity because of its location in between Toronto and Ottawa, that the traffic, it was only 2 hours from Toronto and only, I think, an hour from Ottawa. So it was like, it's very popular. Not necessarily the best park in Ontario, but a very popular park because of its location. I would recommend, if you go there, just like Algonquin, you should go really either early in the season or late in the season, that you can enjoy the camping as well as the beach. But this is about camping, not about beaches. So what about the next part? And so one of the other more popular campgrounds in Ontario is the Pinery, located just outside of Grand Bend. It's about 2.5 hours from Toronto, and it's located on Lake Huron. Now, Pinery has been voted, the sunsets at the Pinery have been voted by National Geographic magazine as one of the top 10 locations to watch a sunset in the world. Not just Ontario or Canada, we're talking the world top 10. So yeah, it's got beautiful sunsets. While I was there, I decided to take in the sunset. I went a little bit early, set up at the beach, got myself a chair. I even brought myself a little bit of jar of Bailey so I can have a sip while I was watching the sunset. I got there early and there was a few people on the beach. As we got closer to sunset, maybe about 20 minutes before the sunset, I looked around and there were several hundred people that just converged onto the beach right at sunset to watch it. And it was truly spectacular. And because the beach is so huge at the Pinery, it really wasn't that busy. It wasn't overrun with people, even though there was a couple hundred there. So the Pinery is a great park. It's huge. It's got over 1,000 campsites, which makes it like a great park to go to because you have a better chance of getting a site there in the summertime. And it's a huge park. It's got a river that runs through it. It's got the road that goes all the way around it. It's great for biking. You know what? There's a lot more I want to say about the Pinery, but I'm going to save that specifically for my Pinery Provincial Park review. I just want to say that it's one of the popular ones like Algonquin and like the Sandbanks, but I think that the Pinery is actually lives up more to its reputation. So let's move on to some of the other ones that were basically not really known to me, and they were absolute hidden gems. So one of the first hidden gems was Bon Echo Provincial Park, and it was on the I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it properly, the Mazenau Lake. and it's a really incredible little site. And coming out of the lake, there is a rock face, the Mazenod rock face, and it is about a kilometer long, and it's over 100 feet tall, and it's just this flat surface that if you have the opportunity to go to the park, you definitely have to bring a canoe or kayak, or you can rent one right there at the park and take a little kayak ride as you go along this cliff. There's even a bunch of old pictures, petroglyphs on it from how many years ago, I don't know. But it's an absolutely incredible gem of a park. It's a great park. It's got great facilities, and the landscape, the beauty of it, it was just an absolutely incredible park. And now I've heard a few things online about it, but it was a lot better than I really expected it to be. That's why it was a hidden gem for me. So the next hidden gem, I'd have to say for sure, was Awenda. If you've never been to Awenda, if you live in Toronto area in the GTA and you've never been to Awenda before, you definitely have to go to Awenda. I think it's maybe about a 2-hour drive, I'm not sure, somewhere in there, not far from Barrie or Aurelia. So yeah, about 2 hours from Pearson, and it is an absolutely incredible park. It is one of my favorites. It has several different beaches in the park, and the beaches are in different areas, and some are sandy and some are rocky. It actually has a peninsula with a beach on the other side, so depending on which way the wind's blowing, you can choose a beach that's better suited for you. The campsites were absolutely incredible. It was like made for as a campground, not just like a piece of land turned into a campground. I thought it was awesome, and I'd have to say, yeah, it is one of my favorites, and I would definitely recommend, again, that everybody in the Toronto area go to Awenda at least once. And so yeah, Awenda on the Georgian Bay, absolutely fabulous place, and it's right near Midland. It's a great park, and so I recommend it to anybody. And so just to let you know, if you look at some of my other videos, I do a full review of Awenda Park. Go check it out. Go check out all my reviews of the 66 different parks from my Route 66 experience. And so another one of my hidden gems that I absolutely loved was Grundy Provincial Park. Now, I really didn't think much of it to begin with. I didn't know how great it was. It was on my list, and when I got there, I was very pleasantly surprised. It was a very nice park, and I think it has like 7 different lakes in the park, so there's a lot of different places you can go swimming, different sized lakes. The water temperature was different in each lake. It was very picturesque. I really enjoyed it, and there was places with rocks that you can jump off rocks into the water, and the park itself was really decent. And I have to say, like, the infrastructure, the comfort stations, it was really top notch. The roads were great, and I think that it's about 3 hours from Toronto, which is, you know, outside of that 2-hour range, but I think that creates a different type of camper that goes there. It's more people looking for a great camping experience and looking to chill out and not necessarily be in those, I don't know, popular Sandbanks type places that are all busy. Grundy is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more north. It's not far from Sudbury, and all in all, I have to say that it was a great experience, and it amazed me more than I thought it was going to. And so again, I recommend it. Go check out my full review. And so, what is my final hidden gem? I really have to say that it is Kilbear Provincial Park. Now, not necessarily a hidden gem for me. I have been to Kilbear before when I was younger. My family had a cottage near Kilbear, and so I was in the area a lot, never went to the park a lot. But I just experienced different on this trip. When I checked it out on the thought process of all the different parks that I was going to visit and what this one was really like. And I'd have to say that it did get lots of good reviews online, but I'd have to say it's a great park. It's about 2.5 hours from Toronto, and just outside of Parry Sound. Now, it's right on Georgian Bay. It's right where 1,000 islands are. 10,000 islands, 1,000 islands, I don't know what it is. It's a huge park. It's got a lot of amenities there. It's got a bunch of different beach areas in different locations with like rocks formation. And I have to say right off the bat, that one of the best parts about Kilbear is actually the drive there from Toronto. Once you get north of Barrie and you get into the Canadian Shield, it is absolutely gorgeous. The highway 69 that goes up there, it's absolutely gorgeous. All the rocks that you check out, like that are along the side of the road, it's great. And the park itself, it's filled with rocks and moss and trees, and it's such a great northern Ontario experience, only 2.5 hours outside of Toronto. Like, you really, if you're in the Toronto area and you want to go camping, again, this is one of those parks that you really truly have to go to at least once in your life. You have to see the different, like the real Ontario, what the Canadian Shield looks like, what Ontario looks like, what Georgian Bay is all about, what the area is about. You have to check it out. It really is a great park. And so I say it's a hidden gem, but it's not really hidden from most people. But everything about it, I just don't think that people say enough things about its greatness as opposed to just saying it's a good park. So you know what? Definitely check out Kilbear Provincial Park. It's a good one. You won't regret it. I just want to add that Kilbear, even though it's like 2.5 hours from Toronto, it's that distance that not a lot of people will travel more than 2 hours. However, it's such a great park, it does fill up. Getting reservations for Kilbear is not easy. It's one of those parks that you have to start early in the season, 5 months before you want to go, to book a site, because it does fill up fast. But you know what? Just, it's worth it. And one more thing, the sunsets. The sunsets are great. They have Sunset Point there, just like the Pinery with beautiful sunsets. The Kilbear has a Sunset Point where you can go sit out on the rocks of the Canadian Shield, and there's a great little bay there where the sun sets at the other side of the bay, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Somebody said to me once, if you're going to take somebody camping, take them to Kilbear, because the park will impress them and you'll look like a hero because the park is so great. So yeah, check out Kilbear. So yeah, check out Kilbear. And you know what? Check out my full review of Kilbear Provincial Park on one of my other review videos. So after visiting all 66 provincial parks, I learned a few things I want to share them with you. And one of the first things that I learned was Ontario is absolutely awesome. It's huge and it's so different. You know, I think that a lot of people in the GTA, they travel around Toronto, they take the 401 back and forth, they go downtown, hit Yonge Street. It's like they're in the city, they don't really get out there. And I think that that's a shame. Ontario is beautiful. And one of the things that I enjoyed about my trip was not just the parks themselves, but driving between park and park. Some days when I was driving, I was disappointed that I got to the next park so quickly because I was enjoying the drive so much. Beautiful landscapes, beautiful farms, just incredible. And we really do live in an incredible place. And I think that some people who live in the city just might get caught up a little too much about the city life and forget about what's out there. And the cool part is, it's really not that far. This cool stuff is really only a few hours away, accessible by car. Just about anybody can get out there and check this out. And lesson 2 is, you do not need a lot of money to do this. If you want to get out and do this Route 66, yeah, sure, you got to have a vehicle. Doesn't need to be a brand new $100,000 vehicle. No. Do you need the $150,000 Sprinter? No. Do you even need like a new Volkswagen? No. My car, my minivan, is almost 20 years old, and I took it. And so yeah, it's really not that expensive. You could throw sleeping bags and blankets, a couple pillows in the back of your vehicle and just hit the road. A small tent is enough, all you need, that you could pick up at the Canadian Tire or Cabela's or wherever. It's like, just go, like just really go. It's not that expensive. And you think that even all the gear that you need is expensive, but no, you don't need all the expensive gear. You don't need these name brand coolers that cost $500 just for a cooler. It eats up all of your vacation funds. don't do it, man. Don't get sucked into all that name brand stuff. Just take the basics, go out and do it. It's a lot cheaper than you think it is. And so even though I say it's cheap, is you have to remember that it still costs you for camping at the parks. It's about $40 a night for a campsite. Now you can get electric campsites, non-electric campsites, there's backcountry campsites, and you could also get an annual pass that will get you into these parks on day use. That annual pass is good for the whole year to go and travel and experience these parks very inexpensively. So all in all, just get out there and do it. And I'd have to say that maybe that might be the last and most important lesson here is just do it. Get out there, do it. Life is fast. You're not going to live forever. And the worst day camping is still better than the best day sitting on your couch watching some stupid reality show. Please do yourself a favor, get out there and enjoy Ontario, enjoy the Ontario provincial parks, and enjoy Route 66. So before I wrap up this video, I just want to say that this channel, Happy Camper Crew, was really built for people to get some knowledge about the Ontario parks. People who want to get out there and explore. And it doesn't matter if you're like brand new at camping or you're a seasoned person that's been around, and maybe you'll learn about some new parks that you haven't been to. I think this is about everybody. This site is about building a community of like-minded people that we can share some information. And so yeah, it helps me in a YouTube algorithm if you make comments, but it's a community. I want you to make comments. I want you to share some information with the other people out there so we all can enjoy these parks as much as possible. So this video is just the beginning of my channel, and I want you to know that every month I'm going to be creating more videos. I'm going to be putting my reviews of the parks that I've been to, the 66 different Ontario provincial parks. I'm going to review some new gear, camping gear, some of the stuff that I used, some of the stuff I've purchased since my trip, and some cooking stuff. What you got to eat every single day when you're out there. And I'm not a professional chef, and I don't know a lot of cool recipes, but I know when I'm out there I like to eat well. And when you're doing a lot of hiking, you really need some good meals. So I'm going to talk about some meals, talk about some gear, and talk about some great parks, and share with the entire community how we can all really enjoy our time outdoors. So here's my call to you. So please do me a favor, head over to route66.ca and check out my videos about my trip. Hopefully you'll learn something. Don't forget to also go to HappyCamperCrew.com. If you go to HappyCamperCrew.com and sign up for the newsletter, you're automatically included in the Happy Camper Crew. That's all you need to do is sign up for the newsletter. And the newsletter will be sent out, lets you know when new videos are going to be released, and keep you in contact with the community. So head over to HappyCamperCrew.com, sign up for the newsletter, like and subscribe on this channel, definitely make some comments down below. And I just want to say, hey, if you happen to see me out of park or anywhere, come up and say hi. Let me know that you're part of the Happy Camper Crew. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching. And so even if you don't go to my website and sign up for the newsletter, even if you don't subscribe to my channel, even if you don't make a comment, what I really want is for you to get out there and go experience camping on your own. I really wish you the best, and I hope that you will become a happy camper.